Hello there. Before you watch today's video, I wanted to clarify something. The way that I was measuring, it was not correct. If you ever use this kind of measuring tape device, you have to start from here. So let me show you. So in the video, I started from here where my thumb is. I started measuring from there, but in actuality, you should be measuring starting from here. So from here to here would be 1, and if you follow, be 2. This is 3 right here, and 4. So I knew something was kind of off, but I couldn't figure out what it was. So I took another tape measure and measured it for myself to double check, and that is the correct way. So if you want to get an accurate measurement, you start from here. I guess this is why this is here. You just put that in the ground or whatever. So 0 is starting from here. So this is a 0-point mark, and that way the 4 will be exactly at 4 inches. So I wanted to just clarify that. I apologize in advance. Hello there. I wanted to ask, do you have an anomaly or an outlier plant in your garden that you thought it was supposed to do what it's supposed to do, but it is not? Well, I have such plant in my garden. It's not a plant that it's new to me that I don't know about. It's actually a plant that I have been growing for a while now, not just that particular one, but all the other ones as well. So let me show you what, I actually have 2 of them, and let me show you why they are different than the ones that I'm used to. Here is one of them. Do you recognize this? This is an azalea. If you said azalea, you are correct. But look at the size. You know, I'm gonna go bring a tape measure so you can see. All right, brought my handy tape measure here. 8 inches, we'll say 8 inches. So 8 inches is right here. 8 inches, and all right, we're gonna say at the widest part is 8, maybe 8.5 inches. So 8 inches tall and 8.5 inches wide. Here is the other one. So maybe 6.5 inches. And look at the width. The width is, say, 4 inches, a little more than 4 inches. So you're probably wondering, what's the big deal? They're small. And you're right, it's not a big deal. I mean, plants can start off small, but the problem is that they have been in the ground for 4 to 5 years now. And I have never seen that with an azalea. Now, granted, I did buy these on clearance, and it was in one of those decorative containers. I think they were selling them for Mother's Day. It was a special occasion. They were on clearance, as mentioned. I decided to purchase 2, and thinking that I recognized this plant or these plants, and I was going to go ahead and plant them in the ground. And I have a lot of azaleas, so I do have experience with them, and I've never seen any azaleas that remain this size, or very, very miniature size. So I'm thinking that I might have unique plants here, but not in a way of what you're thinking. I think these have been genetically modified to maybe have their growth stunted, or they're just miniature plants that were not meant to be grown in the ground, or it could be one of those things that are supposed to be used for, I shouldn't say things, one of those plants where they engineer them to just be to be used in an arrangement and then just get tossed. So it could be one of those. Now I will say that this is a woodland garden. So this is where this one is, and the other one somewhere over there. So it is in competition with a lot of trees here, like that. So the ground here tends to stay dry, and I could see that that could be the issue. And before, I had them over here thinking that they would grow up and be together with the rhododendrons, these two here, but they never took off. And I just thought maybe this area would be the issue. And then I got a bright idea that I would go ahead and plant that one there and this one here, so that when they get big, they could help make this Edgeworthia stand out, because it will be an evergreen interest. But as mentioned, they have been planted here for 4 to 5 years. But here's something that's interesting. This year, look at this one. It is blooming, and this one has grown in size. I will say that I think this year, late last year, this year, Whereas has put on some good growth. And you saw the other one is a lot worse than this one. So what I think I will do is I'm going to nurture these two in containers and see how they will do, enjoy them in containers. And if they do decide to get some size to them, then we will transplant them in the ground again. So them being here, I don't think is helping as well. But at the same time, I always thought that smaller plants have an easier time to, get acclimated to the condition and all that. Maybe I am wrong for thinking that. So if you have any experience either with this plant or another plant with the same situation that I am having, please let me know if you have been successful. So I know azaleas get some size after, I will give it a year, but not 4 to 5 years. It's too long. So I'm just going to pot them up and put them in the containers and see how they will do. That way, they'll be closer to where I can take care of them, give them the care that they deserve, and I'll be able to pay more attention to them. So as I was setting up the camera, I decided that since this one is putting on some growth, I'm going to leave it here and see what it's going to do next year, by next year at this time. But I will be putting the farthest one here in the container. So that will be a good experiment to see if that one's gonna get bigger after what? So it's next year's be 5 or 6 years in the ground versus this one that's going to be in a container. So that would be a good one to try. And I just saw that it's blooming over there. So typically when plants are blooming, it means that they're getting ready to set seeds and multiply themselves, like grow more of them. So, or they could be stressing out and they just wanted to produce seeds and do all that stuff. But with azaleas, they are not producing any viable seeds that I know of. So, change of plans, and we'll just pot up one of them. I thought I brought gloves with me, but I did not. So we'll just do this without gloves. All right, my friend, it's time for you to be in a different spot, different environment, and see how you will do. Now, with azaleas, I don't know if you have the same issue as I do here, but there's always some kind of leaf spots. I don't know if it's viral or bacterial. That's one of the reasons why I don't like azaleas at all. So, and I just don't want to be dealing with spraying and all that stuff. So anyway, maybe because this is smaller, I can treat it with something versus the bigger plants, because it'll be harder to, you know, spray and do all that. So with this one, maybe I will consider looking into it and spraying some stuff just to get it to be healthy. Look at that. So I've already prepped this soil. Want to make sure, I did make sure that it's going to be well draining, and this is very easy. It's like pancake like. And I did put some fertilizer in here just to get it going. Even though technically I don't need to, but I don't know if this is one of those azaleas that blooms more than once a year. I know that if anything, this is better than its current location, and I'll be able to water it on a regular basis from now on. I'm gonna have this at the front porch. And I got some orchid mixture here because I like the bark. I did buy the wrong kind. Usually I like the ones with the lighter bark color, more chunkier. So this is not as chunky. This is from Miracle-Gro. But I think this will do well. Let me position it like this. And who knows, I might experiment with it. I'm trying to get it to look or to be like a bonsai. Now, I am not a bonsai expert or anything like that, but I thought it would be cool also to start training this to be a bonsai, right? Wouldn't that be cool? And if I feel like it wants to be in the ground more than in the container, we'll just move it anyway. That is it. All I have to do is water this in really good. All right, this is what it looks like. And these are the spots that I am referring to. I did research into it, and there's a specific bug that bothers the azalea or azaleas. So I'll have to look more into that and see if I could start treating this particular plant, since it's just a small one. It'll be easier to control. Well, as you saw, it didn't go as planned. Was hoping that I could, you know, pot both of them up, but I decided last minute that I'm just gonna leave this one here and experiment with one in the ground and one in the container, with me tending to it a lot more. And I will start to take care of this a lot more as well. So that way, that component is consistent, and then the rest, it'll just be on this plant to use the environment that it's in to let itself grow to the size that it should be at, provided that it was not genetically engineered, and it's just that it's been taking a long time to grow. I will say that I have not had plants where they started off, the azaleas is what I'm referring to, that started off really small. So anyway, maybe they just get started a lot earlier, or a lot slower in the beginning. So anyway, I'm excited to see how both of these will do. And if you would like, I would love for you to follow this journey and see how these two plants will do next year, hopefully around the same time or earlier if they show really good growth before that time. So with that, please let me know if you had similar situations either with this particular plant or any other plants that you've had experience with. So anyway, please give me your feedback and let me know if you have any questions or comment or have any suggestions for me about videos you would like to see me do in the future. Please let me know that as well. So until the next one, thank you so much for watching this video. Take care and bye for now.